Life in Kathmandu was usual. People, palaces, and monuments were standing as they were. But suddenly a major disaster occurred on 25th April at 11:56 in 2015. Earthquake, a devastating disaster, collapsed the heritages, buildings, and thousands of lives at once. Back from the rubbles. In 7 years, people are back to everyday life and most of the heritages are being rehabilitated. Amongst the heritages, Shiva Temple is reviving back to life again in Basantapur. Supporting technically, Japan International Cooperation Agency JICA is currently working on the rehabilitation of Shiva Temple.
2072 सालमा जब भूकम्प गयो, भूकम्प गइसकेपछि हाम्रा 920 भन्दा बढी सांस्कृतिक सम्पदाहरूलाई क्षति पुगेको थियो। त्यही क्रममा काठमाडौँ उपत्यकाका विश्व सम्पदा स्थलका पनि विभिन्न मोनुमेन्टहरूमा क्षति पुग्यो। शिव मन्दिर बनाउने अथवा पुनर्निर्माण गर्ने सन्दर्भमा नेपाल सरकार र जापान सरकार बीच सम्झौता भइसके पश्चात यो काम गर्नलाई नेपालमा जापानिजहरूको संस्था जुन जाइका संस्था छ, संस्था मार्फत काम गर्ने गरी अगाडि बढेको थियो। र यहाँनिर मैले के पनि भन्न खोजेँ भने जापान सरकारले नेपाललाई न कि सांस्कृतिक सम्पदा मात्रै नभएर विभिन्न क्षेत्रमा कुनै किसिमको विदाउट कन्डिसन कुनै पनि त्यसले केही मतलब कुनै शर्त नराखेर भनौँ न, एकदम सहृदय रूपले चाहिँ सपोर्ट गरेको थियो। र त्यही क्रममा सम्पदाहरूको पुनर्निर्माण संरक्षणको कार्य पनि अगाडि बढेको हो।
For the rehabilitation of the Shiva Temple, 3 years had been allocated. 18 months have been spent on the detailed project report DPR, which will get over by March 2023. After the next 18 months, the temple is expected to be restored.
Nepal's leading economy is tourism with two elements, nature and culture. My name is Toshimichi Okumura, JICA expert to reconstruction the Shiva Temple.
JICA dispatched conservation architect Toshimichi Okumura for the rehabilitation of the Shiva Temple. Conservation architect by profession, Okumura has at least a dozen of monuments rehabilitation experience in his credit. And as a conservation architect, Okumura is the one JICA dispatched with a keen interest in restoring the Shiva Temple.
Rather than for myself, I hope it will be model for how to repair cultural heritage buildings in Nepal and be a track record or a model case for many younger Japanese conservation architects to be active in the world.
The Shiva Temple is said to have been built in the 17th century, but has undergone several alterations since then. According to records, it collapsed in the 1833 earthquake and was abandoned for a while, and was rebuilt after the 1934 earthquake. However, it collapsed again in the 2015 earthquake. After that, the composing materials were collected, sorted, and stored by the Japanese team. After cleaning the site, reorganizing by tagging the materials was done effectively.
After the earthquake, the materials from the Shiva Temple were gathered. As a result, various valuable ones were recovered, such as woods, bricks, carvings, terracotta arches, and swords. In addition, the materials that tell the story of Nepalese society, history, culture, and construction technology, such as old processing methods and engraved gods, were discovered.
For the detailed project report, initially Okumura had to struggle in identifying the different materials accordingly. With the concept of utilizing the original materials, they were searched with priority. Okumura then contributed 1.5 years to prepare the design after initiating mapping and sketching the concept of reconstruction.
It took 1 year for the survey and half a year to prepare the design documents. In addition, after the initial survey, one with the elements drawings of the Shiva Temple will be finalized after arranging the dimensions for months. Little by little, I progressed until the final rehabilitation plan was completed.
अब सर्वप्रथम हामी यसको अलिकति पुरातत्व विभागको थोरै ब्याकग्राउन्डतर्फ जाउँ। 2009 सालमा पुरातत्व विभाग स्थापना भए पश्चात 2013 सालमा हाम्रो एउटा ऐन जारी भयो, प्राचीन स्मारक संरक्षण ऐन 2013। त्यो जारी भइसकेपछि पुरातत्व विभागले काम गर्ने पुरातात्विक मापदण्ड अन्तर्गतका जति पनि संरचनाहरू छन् तिनीहरू चाहिँ हामी त्यो ऐनले निर्दिष्ट गरेका मूल्य मान्यता बमोजिम नै काम गर्छौं। त्यसपश्चात सन् 1979 मा जब विश्व सम्पदा क्षेत्रमा काठमाडौँ सूचीकृत भयो, त्यसपश्चात युनेस्कोले निर्दिष्ट गरेका जुन विश्व सम्पदाका मूल्य मान्यताहरू छन् त्यसमै नै आधार रहेर हामी यहाँका जुन हाम्रा सम्पदाहरू छन् त्यसको पुनर्निर्माण भनौँ अथवा संरक्षण कार्य अगाडि बढाउँछौँ। यसलाई आधार मान्नु पर्दाखेरि हामीसँग केही मूल्य मान्यताहरू अलरेडी निर्दिष्ट गरिएका छन्। तिनैको आधारमा हामीले संरक्षणका कामहरू गराउँदाखेरि जस्तै अब यहाँलाई भन्नुपर्दाखेरि कुनै पनि संरचनाहरूको जीर्णोद्धार कार्य गर्दा त्यसको मूल स्वरूपमा कुनै पनि परिवर्तन नआओस् भन्ने कुरामा हामी सधैँ चनाखो रहन्छौँ। त्यहाँ प्रयोग गरिएका वस्तुहरू, त्यहाँ प्रयोग गरिएका सामग्रीहरू सकेसम्म हामीले रियुज हुनेसम्म पुनर्प्रयोग नै गर्छौँ र पुनर्प्रयोग नहुन सक्ने अवस्थाका छन् भने मात्रै त्यस्ता ठाउँमा हामी नयाँ सामग्रीको प्रयोग गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। तर पनि सम्पदा पुनर्निर्माणको क्रममा, सम्पदा पुनर्स्थापनाको क्रममा हामी आधुनिक निर्माण सामग्रीहरूको चाहिँ प्रयोग गर्दैनौँ। यस आधारमा हेर्दाखेरि हामीले प्रयोग गर्ने जुन जोडाइको वस्तु अर्थात् मोर्टार भन्छौँ त्यो चाहिँ हाम्रो कि चुना सुर्खीको हुनसक्छ या त माटोको जोडाइ नै हुनसक्छ भने त्यसमा प्रयोग हुने इँटा अथवा ढुङ्गा भनौँ या काठका वस्तुहरू भनौँ ती चाहिँ सकेसम्म पुरानै प्रयोग गर्छौँ। नभए पनि नयाँ गर्नुपर्ने अवस्थामा मौलिक स्वरूपमा चाहिँ परिवर्तन नआओस् भन्ने कुरामा हामी जहिले पनि संवेदनशीलै रहन्छौँ र त्यसैको आधारमा नै यहाँका प्राचीन सम्पदाहरूको हामी संरक्षण गरिरहेका छौँ।
अहिले चाहिँ हाम्रो अब फाइनल डिपिआरको लागि फाइनल ड्रइङ्सहरूको प्रिपरेसन भइरहेको छ. सो अबाउट अब 1 महिना लगभग 1 महिनाभित्र चाहिँ हाम्रो फाइनल ड्रइङ्सहरू सबै प्रिपेयर्ड हुन्छ.
In preserving the archaeological essence, how much the ongoing process has been carrying the significance?
जापानिजहरूको यो कन्जर्भेसन अथवा मोनुमेन्टको कन्जर्भेसन अथवा कल्चरल हेरिटेजको कन्जर्भेसन गर्ने सन्दर्भमा बडा डेप्थ नलेज छ र त्यो कन्जर्भेसनको प्रिन्सिपललाई मतलब उनीहरूले अगालेर त्यो सबै मोनुमेन्टमा प्रयोग भएका सामग्री अथवा अरू एलिमेन्ट्स अथवा क्राफ्टम्यानसिप सबैको डिटेल त्यसै इन्भेन्ट्री तयार गर्ने. त्यसपछि त्यसको सम्भाव्य आर्किटेक्चर, किनभने सबैको आर्किटेक्चर त हामी कहाँ हिजोको दिनमा थिएन, त्यसको आर्किटेक्चर के हुनसक्छ त्यस सम्बन्धी पहिले भएका टेक्स्टहरू वा चाहिँ त्यस समकालीन अरू आर्किटेक्चरको पनि अध्ययन गरेर उनीहरूले एउटा चाहिँ खाका निकाल्ने वा चाहिँ त्यस सम्बन्धी डिजाइन तयार गर्ने र वान बाई वान तिनी अब्जेक्ट्सहरू मेटेरियल्सहरू र चाहिँ क्राफ्टम्यानसिपको पनि डिटेलिङ गर्ने. यो चाहिँ मलाई साह्रै नै चित्त बुझ्यो. यसमा चाहिँ म जाइकाबाट जुन खटेर आउनुभएका हाम्रा सांस्कृतिक सम्पदाको पुनर्निर्माणमा संलग्न हुने जो हाम्रो व्यक्तित्व हुनुहुन्छ उहाँलाई धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु, किनभने त्यो इनडेप्थ नलेजले हामीलाई नेपालमा पनि अरू सांस्कृतिक सम्पदाहरू पुनर्निर्माण गर्ने सन्दर्भमा एउटा चाहिँ माइलस्टोन त्यो तयार हुनेछ.
The concept for Okumura in rehabilitating Shiva Temple is to preserve the authenticity of heritage. His research says finding materials from the founding period while investigating is fascinating.
The main concept is preserving the authenticity of the heritage buildings for reconstructing the Shiva Temple. But many people and literature say this temple is preserved. This time we found some materials that seems to be from the founding period. So I think changing the form shouldn't be done to preserve its originality because it might carry some necessary messages in future research.
यो कन्जर्भेसन गर्दाखेरि सकेसम्म नै अब पुरानो सामानहरू, पुरानो जुन त्यसबाट मन्दिरबाट निस्केको पुरानै मेटल्स सकेसम्म युज गर्नुपर्ने रहेछ. काम गरिरहेको शैली चाहिँ धेरै नै राम्रो लाग्छ मलाई. अनि त्यो पुरातत्व फिल्डमा चाहिँ धेरै नै राम्रो पनि हुन्छ. अब उनीहरू विदेशबाट यहाँ काम गर्न आउँदाखेरि उनीहरूको आफ्नो जापानको रुल मात्रै हैन कि विश्वकै हाम्रो विश्व सम्पदाको रुल अनुसार उनीहरूले कामको फलो गर्न चाहन्छ.
The architecture includes various art elements such as paintings, sculptures, and crafts. Conservation architects must repair these elements as well. These experiences are helping Okumura now. Okumura, a Japanese native, learns English for better communication.
I may be late, so don't wait for me.
Although he studies and focuses on his work more even at home. Okumura's grandfather was a Japanese-style painter. He always had traditional Japanese paintings in his house, and he grew up with them. He has loved paintings since he was a child. First, at university, he studied architecture. After graduating, he enrolled in an art college to study Japanese paintings. After that, he started his career as a conservation architect. But there was also a time when he was active as a painter. Okumura, beyond his office hours, also focuses on the rehabilitation.
मलाई चाहिँ के लाग्छ भने एउटा मन्दिर चाहिँ इट्स अ भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट पार्ट अफ हेरिटेज र त्यसको रिकन्स्ट्रक्सन गर्नुमा चाहिँ अरू मोडर्न बिल्डिङहरूभन्दा चाहिँ धेरै नै फरक हुन्छ र मैले जति पनि अहिले काम गरिरहेको छु त्यो अनुसार हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ सो फाइनल रिजल्ट चाहिँ आई थिङ्क इट विल बी एन इक्जाम्पल फर द कन्जर्भेसन प्रोजेक्ट्स जति पनि कामहरू भइरहेको छ अनि यो प्रोजेक्ट चाहिँ एउटा इक्जाम्पल हुन्छ भन्ने चाहिँ मलाई विश्वास छ.
Throughout his dedication, what is Okumura implementing then?
Nepal's traditional architecture and construction technology are unique, but many old heritage have lost their authenticities during the repair process. Further, the traditional skills are carried to the next generation by family rather than the education system. So from now on, Nepal's traditional techniques must be well studied and recorded.
Monuments being listed under World Heritage Sites, therefore maintaining originality and applying traditional techniques remained the major concern while aiding agencies' approaches for reconstruction. Materials such as roofs and bricks are mainly manufactured in Bhaktapur, and Okumura has also had meetings with manufacturers there. Meanwhile, JICA, while engaging in rehabilitation, promises to maintain Nepal's architecture and essence. Ancient Monument Preservation Act 2056 and Department of Archaeology look throughout the preservation of historic monuments in Nepal. Meantime, for rehabilitation, the laws, heritage's values, and in addition, cultural and community interest acknowledgement has been the fundamental concern.
भूकम्प पश्चात नेपाल सरकारले एउटा आइसिएनआर भन्ने पुरै सम्मेलन गरेको थियो. त्यसै क्रममा विभिन्न दात्री निकाय, डेभलपमेन्ट पार्टनर वा इन्ट्रेस्टेड ग्रुप, एनजिओ, आइएनजिओ र नेपाल कन्ट्रीले हाम्रा सांस्कृतिक सम्पदा पुनर्निर्माण गर्नलाई चाख देखाए र चाख देखाए अनुरूप अन्यहरू जस्तो कि त्यही म अब पर्टिकुलरली हनुमान ढोकामा अलि यही फोकस गर्न चाहेँ. हनुमान ढोकाको हकमा गभर्नमेन्ट अफ चाइना अनि युएस गभर्नमेन्ट अनि जापानिज गभर्नमेन्ट अनि त्यो लोकल के अरे स्थानीय सरकारको संलग्नतामा धेरै चाहिँ मोनुमेन्ट अगाडि बढाउने क्रम अगाडि बढ्यो. इभन पुरातत्व विभागले त गर्नु नै पर्ने नै भयो, त्यो कम्पिटेन्ट अथवा रेस्पोन्सिबल अथोरिटी भएको नाताले. र यसै क्रममा जापान सरकारको इच्छा अनुसार नेपाल सरकार र जापान सरकार बीच सम्झौता भएर केआर2 फन्ड अन्तर्गत चाहिँ सपोर्ट गर्ने भन्ने चाहिँ काम अगाडि बढेको हो.
Through the rehabilitation of the Shiva Temple, Okumura is considering university students as interns and is trying to convey to the younger generation of Nepal how to repair cultural heritage buildings properly.
This project will be an example for the process of rehabilitating heritage. I hope it will help pass the knowledge of traditional architecture onto the new generations.
Okumura has given various lectures and training not only to the JICA's counterpart, the Department of Archaeology, but also to the universities in Kathmandu and Bhaktapur. In consultation with the Department of Archaeology, the survey and making design plan will be completed in March 2023. With construction work is expected to begin around July of that year, 2023. UNESCO recognized the advanced technology of Japanese cultural property restoration technique in 2020 as traditional skills, techniques, and knowledge for the conservation and transmission of wooden architecture in Japan, which has been registered as an intangible cultural heritage. This way, Japan's advanced restoration skill for cultural property buildings has received high praise worldwide. As a member of JICA, Okumura will make use of the sophisticated techniques cultivated in Japan, which will be an epoch-making event in the history of cultural property building restoration in Nepal. And the results of his efforts in Nepal have been expected as a model for the rehabilitation of cultural properties not only in Nepal but also in countries worldwide.